Today I'll be discussing 50-50s and how to win them. But Doomsee, 50-50 is all about luck, I hear you say. No, they're not, you silly Susan, you just don't know what you're doing. 50-50s can be really confusing because there's so many subtleties to it, but I'll try my best to explain what to do in each situation. Being as cool as a cucumber during a 50-50 is all well and good, but if you're still bumping into the side of the ball or giving it a little tickle as you drive past, you won't be winning anything anytime soon. The most common aspect to winning 50-50s is to hit the ball through the centre. Well, duh, Doomsee. It sounds obvious, and well, it is. But I see so many players overlook this part in favour of being able to charge at the ball at full speed. You want to make your car as big of a barrier as possible for the ball, so that it has as little possibility to get past you as possible. If you're hitting the dead centre of the ball, then you're preventing it from poking out at one side or the other, and instead it's going where there's least resistance, away from you and past your opponent. 50-50s are pretty weird. In some ways, the less you do, the better the outcome. If you go at the ball with all your might trying to plow it through your opponent like Juggernaut, then this might not always work. More often than not, the best way to win a 50-50 is to simply sit behind the ball and let the opponent do all the work. The important part here is to let the opponent hit the ball first. If this means you have to slow down a little before hitting the ball, then so be it. You can do a little hop as they hit the ball to become a bigger obstacle for the opponent, and you can even incorporate a flip to make sure you stand your ground better. The reason why this works so well is because the opponent will likely not get a clean hit through the middle of the ball, either because they expect you to hit it first, so they make a little prediction and aim to one side of the ball, or they'll hit the ball correctly the first time, only for the ball to bounce back at them at a worse position as they squeak to the side of the ball, and then you hit it back, and then so on and so forth until you're winning it cleanly. If the opponent is trying to take the ball round you rather than commit to a 50-50, then this strategy is insanely effective. If timed right, then the opponent will fly past the ball and you'll essentially have full control over it whilst barely having moved a muscle. Now it's a slightly different story when both players are fully committing to a 50-50. If both players are fully committing and both drive through the centre of the ball, the player going faster will typically have the advantage. It might not be much of an advantage, but sometimes that's all it takes. If both players drive full speed through the centre of the ball directly opposite each other at the exact same time, well, the ball will just die in the middle and both players will pretty much land behind the ball. It's at this stage where the little subtleties come into play and it becomes more of a kickoff. If the opponent has committed 100% and is holding his ground in a 50-50, then there's not much you can do. The best thing to do in this situation is to keep observation on your teammate and try to force the 50-50 to him by essentially losing the 50-50 left or right. This isn't advised if you're the last man back, however, for obvious reasons. Okay, so this is another point I want to discuss. A lot of people think that winning 50-50s means you have to send the ball towards the opponent's half, and whilst that sounds good, that's not always a positive thing. If your opponent has a teammate waiting back, then all you're doing is just giving him the ball. So this is the final thing to remember about 50-50s. You have to aim them. Just like when you're passing or shooting, you have to think about where you want this 50-50 to end up. If you're 50-50ing with the last man on the other team, then more often than not you're going to just want to send the ball towards their goal and maintain possession. However, if you're dealing with their first man and they have backup, then you're going to want to send the 50-50 directly towards a teammate, whether that's behind you or to the side of you. Or you can win the 50-50 in a way that allows you to carry on dribbling, but the opponent goes flying past you. 50-50s are like a game within a game. Okay, so I've gone through the most common reasons why certain players win 50-50s. But as I keep saying a lot in this video, there are so many different ways to win a 50-50, and there's so many different nuances and subtleties that you have to take into account when playing, when going for a 50-50. Because I've only explained like half of the reasons why 50-50s are won. So I'm going to explain some more reasons why 50-50s are won. And essentially, the better your opponents are at 50-50s, the more you need to look into these tiny little subtleties to know how to win a 50-50. And I'm just going to take you through a few examples, and I'm just going to tell you every reason why I won or lost a certain 50-50, and hopefully you can really understand what's going on. Because I write a script for all these tutorials, right? But I can't. I need to just get into the nitty-gritty of it and just freestyle with you guys and just let you know why people win 50-50s, right? Okay, so in this example, the blue car, which is me, yay, has the momentum that's going directly through the ball. I'm not skimming it, I'm not, going one side of the ball, I'm driving all momentum through the middle of it. So this gives me the upper hand. The red car in this instance is sort of skimming the ball, and his velocity is going past the ball rather than through the ball, which means that once he gets his hit, which he does because he hits it first, it's just going to hit me where I've got all my momentum going through the ball. I'm going to hit it back as his momentum just goes all the way past the ball, and I'm just going to clearly win this 50-50, which, as you can see, I do. So in this instance, it doesn't matter whether I hit the ball first or second, because my velocity and momentum is going directly through the ball. He can hit it at me like once or twice, you know, because 50-50 he's got like dugga dugga dugga, you know, one back and forth. It's just going to hit me, and I'm going to smack it right back past him as he goes flying past the ball. So that's the main reason why he lost this 50-50 and I won it. Okay, so here, this one's pretty obvious, so quick one, this one. Red car wins simply because he's driving through the middle of the ball. Doesn't matter who hits this one first, because, you know, they're pretty much hitting it at the same time, just like a duh-duh. So doesn't really matter who hits this one first, but because the red car's driving right through the middle of the ball, and the blue car sort of skims it onto the left side, red car wins it every time. This one, again, pretty straightforward, not quite as clean cut, but essentially the Batmobile is too high. He hits the ball at a higher point than the blue car, which is me again, yay! And so the blue car gets, you know, the comfortable win. You know, I get hit back a little bit because the Batmobile smacks me, so I don't really carry on momentum that well, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, Batmobile is just too high. That's all it is, really. And the reason why is because as I was going for the ball, I waited and let him come to me. Therefore, I know exactly when I'm going to hit the ball, and I'm not surprised by this sudden little bit of adjustment or lack of adjustment. I'm controlling the situation. I'm hitting it, you know, when I want to hit it, and so I get far more central. And yeah, and also because I'm hitting the ball with my nose a little bit and then flipping, whereas he's sort of flipping really early, again because he thinks I'm going to hit it sooner. He flips early, and by the time he hits the ball, he sort of skims it, and like he just like flies over the ball really thinly, whereas I have like a lot more of my car forcing it through. So yeah, you notice a pattern here, right? The most important thing with 50-50s is to go through the center of the ball if you want to like win it through them, right? It's all the, well, you're going to find out in a second, because all the little subtle things happens when two cars go for a complete 50-50 through the middle of the ball, and yeah, that's when things get a lot more difficult. Okay, so this last example is the most difficult to understand, and it's super hard to see why one player wins this over another, but I'll take you through it step by step, and hopefully we can figure this out, because 50-50, they're super finicky. You gotta really look at the subtle nuances to determine, you know, which player will win it. Okay, so looking at this, right, this is what I was saying. When two people go for a 50-50 and they're super even, they're both committing to it, they're both driving through the middle of the ball, and it looks like it could be anyone's game. But watch, as even though it looks very, very even, I completely win this 50-50, like very cleanly, like it's not even close. I land directly behind the ball, the opponent just flies out the window, and because of it, I get a goal. Right, now, the reason why is very subtle, because at first you may be thinking, because it's a top-down view, right, maybe I'm hitting it higher than him, you know, but if you look from the side angle, we both hit it right in the middle. Like, the height is fine, and neither of us are, you know, hitting one side of the ball or the other, so it's super even. Now, there's two reasons why I win this, but the main reason is because I'm traveling faster than him. Because of this, when I approach the ball, you know, when you hit the ball, a little bit of the ball's force travels to you, so you fly back a little bit. Now, obviously, the faster you're going, the less obvious this will seem, and you'll barely be moved back at all. Whereas if you're traveling really slowly, the ball can actually, like, physically force you back. Now, imagine you're going slowly, and the opponent is traveling really fast through the ball, and so he's hitting the ball into you, and he's providing force as well. The car going slower is going to be nudged back more than you think. So the player going faster is usually the one who wins, as I said earlier. Now that's one reason, right? That's one reason why he gets sent off flying a bit more, and I basically just stick with the ball because I'm going faster than him. The other reason is when we flip. Now we both flip into this ball, we both dodge, right? But I dodge at a better time than he does, right? So essentially, as I hit this ball, and I get propelled back a little bit, right? We both sort of die in the middle, and I get propelled back a little bit, but because I dodge at the exact same time I get propelled back, I basically stay on the spot. I dodge in the opposite direction that I've just been forced backwards. And if I'm traveling through the center of the ball when doing this, it means I'm literally just heading, back. I'm flipping back in the direction of the ball. So because I dodge at this correct time, not too early so that I end up going too far forward, and not too late so that I've already been flown back a little bit, I do it at the exact same time, so I basically stay exactly where I am as I hit the ball. If you notice what this red car does, he dodges a little too late. So he's already been propelled back a little bit, and then he dodges, which means he's already out of position. And because he's doing a top left dodge through the ball, which is, is what you would do, he ends up doing a top left dodge around the ball and to the side of it because he's dodged too late. And those two reasons are why I won this pretty cleanly, whereas it looked super even as the 50-50 happened. And those two things are really important when it comes to two players who are committing 100% to a 50-50. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, then feel free to leave a like and make sure to subscribe to see more useful tips videos in the future. If you guys have any ideas on what tutorial videos you want to see next, then feel free to leave a comment below with your suggestions. I'd love to crack out some videos on what you're all struggling with the most. Alright, thanks again guys, and have a lovely evening.